friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Allison and I am back to share with you a new traveler's notebook design process video and scrapbook process video. If you're not interested in catching the design portion of the video, hop ahead a few minutes and you'll catch the scrapbook process. In the meantime, here is what I came up with for this spread in my traveler's notebook. From the very beginning, I struggled with the design on this layout. I knew that I wanted to include a shape of some sort, and I knew that I wanted to have a rainbow ombre effect in the background. So the lettering that you see on the left-hand page, letting go, in pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and blue. I had decided that I was going to watercolor that, and I'm actually going to attach letting go repeatedly to an 8 1/4 by 4 1/4 size piece of paper, and the watercoloring will show through from behind it. You'll see that when I get to the scrapbook process, which is right now. So here I'm doing my watercoloring. I started with my Close to My Heart watercolor paints. They're just your regular watercolor paints, nothing too special. I didn't want to use red, so I opted for pink instead, and I went through the entire rainbow, starting with pink, so pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And then once that's done, I'm going to adhere the letting go panel over top, and I think it's so pretty. I absolutely love the effect and how it looks. I decided later on to carry on the watercoloring to the right hand side of the spread as well. Originally I was just going to leave it plain white, but after doing the watercoloring here, I couldn't just leave it plain, so I did some more watercoloring later on, but off camera, and adhered my journaling over top of that. So I'm just using my Tombow Mono liquid glue to adhere this panel over top of the watercoloring. How pretty is that? Doesn't it look pretty? And I love that you can see the gradient mixing of the colors as the colors change in some of the letters, or I guess in some of the words as well. I just think it's super pretty. I'm cutting off the excess paper that's peeking out from behind the panel. I'm using my ATG to glue it to the left hand side of the page. And in the end, I decided to use a heart shape on this layout. That part of the design didn't get recorded. I think I just reached a point where I kind of got frustrated and decided to play around on my own without recording. And that's why there's only half a video as far as design goes. I decided to pull out some ink as well because I thought the heart would get lost on the white background. In retrospect, I should have maybe watercolored the paper before cutting the words letting go out so that the watercolor is in the foreground and not in the background, but I still think it's really pretty. So I used smoked hickory, or hickory smoke, from Tim Holtz, and I used that just to ink the edges of that heart. I let it hang off the page a little bit and then just trimmed off the excess, and my photos and title are going to be matted on top of that. Both my photos were printed at 2 by 2 inches. This one that I'm cutting right now I think is slightly smaller than that because I didn't get a straight cut, so I used my scissors to cut off the portion that wasn't particularly straight, and I think it made it just an itsy bitsy bit smaller than it should have been. Next comes my title. So the title is Letting Go, and then I have a subtitle as well that I'm going to stamp in Close to My Heart Blossom ink, and that is Gradually. So the entire title is going to be Gradually Letting Go. And the story that I'm sharing in my traveler's notebook today is my daughters giving up their loveys, partially. They weren't ready to totally get rid of them. Instead, they asked me to box them up and put them in storage and just hang on to them for safekeeping. And I thought it was super sweet. And of course, I obliged them. They weren't ready to get rid of them, but they were ready to put them away. And I will keep them as long as they want them. So because this layout is about my kids' loveys, I decided to die cut some teddy bears. So I'm just showing you putting together one of the teddy bears. There are a couple of pieces and layers that go into making this teddy bear. There's the completed one. I made another one as well off camera. One has a blue heart, the other one has a pink heart, and actually this pink heart is some Cocoa Vanilla Studio ephemera from the Sunkissed collection. It was left on my plate. I hadn't put it back in its packaging. It was the right color for the second heart that I wanted, and it actually coordinated with the die cut title, The Letting Go, because I cut that from Cocoa Vanilla Sunkissed paper as well, and that was from the 6x8 paper pad. I'm just adding a couple of, or actually one, Tim Holtz phrase sticker to the bottom underneath the photo. I wanted to fill up the empty space down at the bottom of the heart, and that was perfect to fill it up. That little puffy sticker that I used is actually from a Pinkfresh Studio collection that I've had in my stash for a while. I had an extra tab that I had cut with my Cricut for another project and it never got used, so I pulled that out and added a couple other Tim Holtz phrase stickers and the date to it as well, and I'm going to glue it to the left hand side of my spread. It's actually meant to cover up the one that was showing from the previous page, and I thought that worked perfectly. They're not exactly the same size, but they're close enough. And actually off camera I took some foam squares and sandwiched them between the two tabs so that they stuck together, just so it doesn't, one of them doesn't accidentally get torn out or something like that. So here is the right hand page. I'm going to add just a few other embellishments to this page as well, both above and below my journaling, because there is some extra white space there. And with that, this spread is complete. I do have a complementary 12x12 scrapbook layout dealing with the same story coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. But I hope you enjoyed my video today, and I hope you found it inspiring. If you enjoyed my video and you enjoy Cricut projects and you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Just hit the subscribe button and the little bell. That way you can customize all your notifications so you don't miss anything that I post on this channel. If you're returning to my channel, thank you so much for joining me and spending some time with me. I do have close-ups coming up, so feel free to stick around for that. And here is just a real quick flip through of what I've done so far in my traveler's notebook. Have a fantastic weekend, friends. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will be back again soon with more creative inspiration. Bye, friends.